What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Check Down Podcast, streaming to you on the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Get at us on Twitter. As soon as Chris figures out the password, we'll be able to actually post it for you. Get at us on Instagram. We're going to try to be posting some power rankings, some top picks, some fantasy things throughout the week. So make sure you get us out on there. But make sure you definitely hit the subscribe button so you can be with us at the check-in. If this is your first time, I am Shirtless Pat, and unlike AB when he's in vacation mode, I am not too revealing. So you're welcome. We got Cody, Mr. Cashew King, King of the Cashews, Champagne Nuts, whatever the fuck AB said, my goats. We got Greg sliding into Giselle DM so Pat Mahomes can win another ring. Gormley and Chris, thank you so much for deciding to join us today. This was your idea to do this show, and you've been absent. But thank you. We appreciate it. And thank you to everybody else that is tuning in. We got one comment so far. DD Red Solo Cup 32. If you're still on, man. Not sure what we're clutch for, but we're going to do our best. So pay attention.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know me, skipping episodes, hurricanes, small stuff.
You were texting us. You easily could have got on and streamed, my man. But all right,
guys, it outside as well.
Yeah, I was mandated.
We got another comment already from Robert. Hey, how many touchdowns Kenny versus the Bills this week? You know what? We're just going to jump right in the first down. Let's do that.
Kenny Galladay? I'm just joking.
Izzy, why don't you tell me how many touchdowns you think Kenny's going to get this week? Izzy, why don't you go ahead and tell us how many you think Kenny's going to throw?
Me?
Yeah.
Trubisky takes over at halftime. Leeds come back win. Two.
So,
Two.
Robert, I don't know if you were. Oh, that's Bob. What's up, Rob? It took me a minute to figure out who A was. That's my boy Bob. What's up, Rob? So we have a bet going right now between Greg and Izzy about how many touchdowns Kenny's going to throw. So Izzy's going with
not Kenny. Pickett, Trubisky.
You're going with Trubisky throwing two?
Yeah, he's only. I mean, no. Kenny Pickett's only throwing two touchdowns, if that.
Yep.
Steelers are ass, bro. Your dynasty's over.
No, our previous bet was will Trubisky.
You never accepted the bet. A bet is when two men agree.
Will Trubisky finish with 22 touchdowns on the season?
We're all about consent here.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson.
So being benched in week number 4, it's not looking too promising that Trubisky will finish with over 22 touchdowns.
There's still 17 games in the season.
It looks like you're going to get egged, dude. Just get used to it. Get ready. Preferably a brown one. We're going to go ahead and segue that. And speaking of touchdowns, what about Aaron Rodgers? He's been throwing 3 picks. Last year, he threw 4 all year. So, Cody, I know you're a huge Packer fan and you don't think that they need a new receiver. So why don't you tell us why you think they can run with what they got?
So let me just start. They are 3-1. They're a game behind the record lead. The division lead because Vikings do have the game on them. So 3-1. So we're not going to fix what's not broken. Green Bay currently leads the league in yards after catch. Romeo Doubs, Aaron Rodgers even said, looks just like Devontae Adams his rookie year. So that's already high praise from him. Christian Watson had that big drop opening game, but the guy's running phenomenal routes. He's open on a lot of plays. Robert Tonyan, they still limited him, but he's going to be coming back strong. Randall Cobb's a third down machine. Sammy Watkins has shown he's been pretty good when he's in there. He's on IR right now. But I think the receiver core is fine. I think the only thing that really happens if you were to bring in a vet receiver, it's going to kind of slow down and dampen the progression of these rookie receivers who already look good in my eyes. So I think they're fine where they are. And not to mention Lazard looks good as well. So I think they're fine. I don't think they have to go make a move. I'd rather spend the money, maybe get a extra offensive lineman or extra player on the defense.
Do you think Rodgers throws double-digit interceptions this year? He's already got 3 in 4 games.
No, I think that's just growing pains with a new receiver core.
I can tell you why he's going to throw a lot of interceptions this year. He hasn't thrown over 7 interceptions since 2011, and I took his season under at 6.5. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
So he'll throw 7 again and
that'll be
fucking ruin your.
He hasn't thrown it since 2011, something like that, over whatever interceptions, and I took it the under. So, yeah, that's
Greg, I know you have a different take. I know you're thinking that Rodgers needs to bring in some extra help. Why is that?
You know what? You like Cody said, you have so many young receivers on this Packers offense. You need to bring in a veteran, someone who's, been around the block, who knows what he's doing, to
Maybe.
help pass on his knowledge to these young guys and help them find their way. Right now, Rodgers is sliding into OBJ's DMs and trying to recruit him, it seems like. The Packers need to bring on one of these free agent receivers who's a veteran for the minimum. And they would take it. If the Packers go on a deep run and they're looking pretty good, like they're going to win the division, potentially compete with that number 1 seed, just go out. There's like guys like Will Fuller you could bring in. I know he's injury prone, but he adds a deep threat to your offense. OBJ, like we just talked about, very good. Even like a T.Y. Hilton, just bring on a veteran just to help out the offense a little bit. And that can only help it, not hurt it, especially when it's, such a cheap price.
Okay. For the people watching at home, who do you think had the better take, Cody or Greg? Let us know in the comments. We're going to keep tallies of these going forward. People also watching, if you have any hot topics from the league this week that you want us to discuss, make sure you put it on there, especially the Kenny versus the Bills. Izzy's going 2 tutters. We'll see. But let's get into something a little more serious.
Buffalo smashed his ass.
Tua throwing up gang signs, getting knocked the fuck out on field. Do we think he should have been playing? Greg, give it to me.
I think so. I mean, NFL has some of the best doctors, best like neurological surgeons or whatever you call them. They go through a lot of protocol to get to the point they need to be where they think they are able to play. If they knew that the player was at any sort of injury risk, they wouldn't throw him out there, in my opinion, because it wouldn't be logical, because then they would have more lawsuits up their ass. And ultimately, it's the player's decision to get back out there. That's what it is. Their body, their choice, their decision to go back out there. If they didn't feel right, they didn't felt a little bit under the weather because of it, then you just sit this one out and then get back out there as soon as possible. But right now, it looks like, Tua was cleared. They followed all the, steps and everything. And it was just up to him to get back out there.
Okay. I like what you're saying there, because I had a massive concussion back in high school. I scored a 3% on the impact test. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's fucking terrible. And I played the following week. So Tua was laughing at McGruber. That's a lot of CTE.
And we used to paint babies' bedrooms with lead.
All right, Chris, I know, man, you definitely feel differently about this. So go ahead. You were all about Tua time. So let us know about it.
Well, first off, Tua is real. Tyreek Hill still leading the league in passing yards. I don't think he ever did that with Mahomes.
I didn't know he threw the ball.
Patrick Mahomes is overrated.
Tua doesn't lead the league in passing yards.
No, Tyreek Hill in receiving yards.
Oh,
there you go.
So first off, anyone with any common sense knows what the NFL hides concussions better than any league in the sport. The neurologist already got fired for missing 5 protocol steps. So, best doctors in the world, that's a far statement. So I actually work with a doctor who does and who has done NFL protocol and concussion protocols. And it's actually a pretty cool job. So they fly out, because I'm an ER trauma nurse. They fly out to the facility, to the field. They can't do any sports betting, any talk about games, anything like that. And they do the online concussion things, like with the trauma, like with the neurosurgeons and independent ones. The one that I think that they saw the independent neurologist, that's a follow-up. That's not going to be game time. But they caught lying. The Kansas City Chiefs did the same thing a couple years ago. If we remember, with Patrick Mahomes going into the AFC Championship game, he got knocked out, and he clearly stumbled all over, and his offensive lineman had to pick him up. The same thing with Tua. I think that it's not even like about toughness or playing, or it's about medical science. Back-to-back concussions in a short time frame can lead to severe neurological deficits or even brain injury. He could have actually seriously died or had a serious neurological impact on the field. The triggering finger response was bad. And the thing overall is, for the NFL or anyone even watching, is you have to think about parents. The 35-year-old mom watching Tua lay like it's like roadkill on the side after getting sacked. most moms are going to be like, maybe I'm going to stick to baseball and basketball. And that's the thing. Like, do you want to lose future young athletes playing the game because they don't want to see their kid's head ringed up? Tua is a small guy. That's probably what led to it because he's an undersized quarterback as it is. But rushing somebody back, cutting protocols, it's a thing the NFL has always done. And this last weekend, a lot of teams were keeping players out more and more. Exactly. Like Mahomes was not playing the AFC Championship game, but there's no way you clear concussion protocols in less than a week. And the Chiefs organization was saying, oh, he was just knocked the wind out of him. People who get to knock the wind out of them grip their chest. They do this because you can't literally fucking breathe. You see it all the time with blunt force trauma. Mahomes was like this.
Well, for that one instance, they were saying it was something with like a nerve in his neck or something, like a pinched nerve in his neck. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I wouldn't.
See, this is what I mean, though, because the fans are going to be like, well, one doctor said. So I think the NFL is going to come down hard. I think Tua, it's going to be the new Tua rule. I think teams, especially like the New York Giants, for example, not the Rams, I'm going to cut it off here soon, but the New York Giants, for example, suffer from the new Tua rule, where they lost Daniel Jones from injury. The backup comes in. I'm blanking on the name. He got hit. Tyrod Taylor. He got hit in the head. They called in that it was a concussion protocol, and they pulled him out of the game. And then the Saquon's doing Wildcat. So the Tua rule might lead to longer benches and stuff like that. Just a thing to think about. So,
hey Rob, I know you're a doctor. If you're still listening, what do you think? Do you think Tua should have played, not should have played? He cleared protocol. Should he have been out there? Go ahead and put that in the comments. We'll get up there. Anyone else listening, make sure you post.
Who's a doctor?
Better. Chris or Greg? Rob is. We went to school.
What type of doctor?
He's a pharmacist. So, doctorate. Sorry. So, Rob, put your comment in there, and we'll see what you got. So next we're going to do something we haven't done before. I'm going to make a bold statement to one of you guys, and then you guys are going to say whether you hold it or you fold it. So either you agree that it's going to continue, or you're going to fold and you're going to pass up. And then if anybody has a rebuttal to it, we're going to let it go. No, he was clearly concussed. That's what Rob says. You know what? I'm actually siding with Greg on this one, guys. I had a severe concussion. I went in, I passed, I played. I never had another problem, except for years down the road. I had some recurring concussion problems, but that was going to happen anyway. That did not matter. The protocols are there for a reason. Now, the problem that's going to happen is the NFLPA is doing this investigation. If everything goes south, then yeah, he probably shouldn't have been out there. But as far as protocol goes and the team is concerned, he passed, and I think that he should be allowed to play if he wants to play. So
he didn't pass protocol though. They missed 6 steps.
But
I'll tie this one up 2-2. I'll side with Izzy on this one. We'll split this one 2-2. And honestly, my biggest thing as to why I think Tua was out there, it's all about the money. I mean, if you're a fan, do you want to watch Burrow versus Tua Thursday night primetime game, or do you want to watch Burrow versus journeyman backup? That's my point. I mean, fans are going to want to watch Burrow versus Tua over Burrow versus backup journeyman Teddy Bridgewater.
Yes, I agree with Rob. See, Rob's right, because you said Rob's a doctor of pharmacy. Rob's right, because Pat, you know, is too, working in healthcare. Sometimes you have to convince the patients what's best for them. That doesn't mean that it's best. They get to have their say.
Yeah, but
ultimately their
decision. They told him that he
though,
could play, so he played.
Yeah,
they told him it was okay. I don't know. We're gonna have to just keep moving on because we could probably be here for a decade about this. I can see that we're pretty torn. Cody, you haven't had a chance, so I'm going to come to you first. Right now, the Eagles are the only undefeated team. Bold prediction here: either you hold or you fold. Eagles will finish the season as the number 1 seed in the NFC.
I'm gonna fold, and my reason being is, you know, their offense looks great, their passing defense looks great, but they have been getting beat on the ground. I think teams are going to figure the Eagles out eventually. Do I think they could finish as number 1? Yeah, but I'm not confident enough in it to completely hold it. So at the moment, I'm going to fold.
All right, you're going to fold. People at home, you can hold or fold. Put it in there. We can talk about it. Greg and Izzy, do you think any of them? Do you think they will finish number 1?
I do.
Okay,
I actually do as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, division's not that strong. Division's not strong, and
it's the best division of football as far as record goes.
That doesn't mean anything. It's still early. It's week 4.
I love
So
how
I
we've
think-
been all saying like, "Oh, it's early in the season." So how eventually we're gonna stop saying that, but we've
There's
all
got to be a point where it's not early.
Yeah, I personally think until mid-season, it's early. Like as long as your team stays around 500 by mid-season, you're in it.
You also have one of the easiest schedules as well. So
they do have an easy schedule, but I've also seen the Giants start 4-0 and then not make the playoffs.
That's what I mean by mid-season. I think the Eagles are going to finish as the 1 seed. They look strong. They look well coached. They have talent on the sides. Their defense is stacked. They have a lockdown corner. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I mean, Packers haven't been impressive. Tom Brady's being divorced, bro. He looks like a mess. He looks sick as hell. Like I get down
into his lady, so you know he's gonna be all messed up.
Yeah, so Tom Brady's heartbroken. Aaron Rodgers is his typical choking self. The NFC is open, bro.
I know, but to touch on all the points we said, it's early. Like I said,
maybe the Vikings will win.
I think teams are going to figure it out. I think they have a good chance. It's too early for me to confidently say they're going to finish number 1.
I'm thinking that Sirianni's going to fuck up some games here later in the year, and they're going to not end up getting the front 1 seed, and they're going to get the 2. All right, Greg, bold statement for you. The Pro Bowl has changed from no longer a game, but to Pro Bowl events. The Pro Bowl is going to get more viewers than the Super Bowl this year.
Did you say, will the Pro Bowl have more viewers than the Super Bowl?
That's a bold statement, Pat.
The Pro Bowl has a lot of hype right now because they're going back to the skill games. The skill games back in the day used to get just as many views because it was a week-long thing. So they had every day's worth of views calculated into one. So the skill games used to do really, really well back in the 90s. And there's
I like the idea of the switch, but I mean, the Super Bowl is just, it's like a social event. You have like people who don't even watch football coming together just to tune in to see, what are the best commercials going to be? Oh, what's the halftime show? Rihanna this year, you're going to get a bunch of people watching because of that. The Pro Bowl, I think, will draw more viewers than it has in previous years, but it's not even going to be close to what the Super Bowl brings in because it's the fucking Super Bowl. Like everybody watches it.
All right. So you're folding. Everyone else folding?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm no offense, Pat, but I don't really think that's quite a bold statement.
You don't think that's bold? I think
no,
I think there's a
not at all.
the Pro Bowl has. I think that there's a chance. I'm more interested in the Pro Bowl this year than the Super Bowl. I can tell you that right now. I think those Pro Bowl events are going to be a lot more entertaining across the board.
I was actually listening to the podcast New Heights with the Kelsey brothers. They brought up an interesting point saying that, maybe they should bring in like drinking games and stuff and like cornhole into some of those Pro Bowl events to really make it interesting.
That's something I would watch.
They haven't talked about what the events are yet, so who knows?
I would rather watch Bobby Wagner fucking knock down protesters than
Yeah, the old Pro Bowl was ass, but this new event is going to be good. All right.
No, I think skills competition is a good way to go. It'd be fun.
I think it's going to be.
I agree. I like the whole skill thing they're doing over the original Pro Bowl, but I don't think it's going to top.
Like how many massage parlor people in the Deshaun Watson creep out over under?
Oh boy.
Do you think Deshaun Watson has a chance of making the Pro Bowl when he comes back in Week 9?
No,
not the Pro Bowl, but they win Super Bowl. That Browns team. Cody is right. We had to give Cody props. He will follow the show. Cody might be right. That Browns team might be destined to finish around 500 by the time old Hank and Spankin' Watson gets back, and they might make a run for the Super Bowl.
Jacoby Brissett.
I had your back on that one, Cody.
I tried to warn you.
All right, Chris. This one is a little crazy, but I like it. So Zappy should compete with Jones for the starting job of the Patriots quarterback.
Oh, this is a good one.
I like him, man. He threw like 62 touchdowns in college.
What was it? Hold or fold?
Yeah, hold or fold.
I say hold.
Hold, okay.
And this is why. I think the thing was watching the game was Zappy clearly showed he was like third string, didn't get much practice time. He had a lot of anxiety and nerves. But things that I liked about him is the offense looked the best it's looked since halfway of last year, besides when we played the Jaguars or Jets. His mobility out of the pocket was awesome. Like the escapability factor that he had was awesome. I think the problem is that Mac Jones has way more poise in the pocket. Clearly, he's more experienced. He also played bigger games at Bama than Western Kentucky ever played. And I do think that I saw a video today of Mac Jones practicing, looking good, but I don't know if Zappy would get. Fuck Brian Hoyer. Sorry, you got knocked out, but I agree, Pat. Open the competition camp. Like if he plays this week and he had a whole week of practice and he looks good and the offense moves the ball, you might have to consider it because Mac Jones has not been moving the ball and that offense has not been moving the ball.
All right. Anyone have a differ? You think Mac Jones should still hold it? Anybody?
I like the QB competition idea. I think that's gonna be a good thing.
That's gonna breed some. Yeah, I like that too. All right, we're gonna move into second down. Anyone that's still watching at home, make sure that you put in there your biggest winners and losers of the week. We're gonna talk about ours here in a second. So Chris, you're gonna go first. Give me your biggest winner or a surprise from this past week or the season.
So, as much as I brag about how right I was about Christian McCaffrey, I am completely wrong about Saquon Barkley. And Saquon Barkley is my winner. He has been dominant this year. He is first overall in rushing yards. He's fourth overall with his rushing yards with after contact. Like he just after contact yards, it would still be fourth in the league. So he's having a great year. So Saquon of the Giants, really impressive year. As long as he stays healthy, he'll prove that he was that guy that the team should have drafted.
The Giants are the number one rushing team in the league right now, even over the Ravens. So, yeah, Rob, I'm with you, man. Kenny Pickett, he had 2 rushing touchdowns, and 3 of his interceptions weren't even really his fault. I've been saying on this show for weeks that it's Pickett's time. Pickett took over, and he played well. Izzy, I know you're not into Pickett just because you're going to have to eat that egg, but that's okay.
Bro, he's so overrated.
Greg, who was your big win surprise for this week?
My biggest winner is the Chiefs' offensive line. Previously, in the past 3 weeks, they did not look like the unit they were last year. They were really struggling to make the blocks and, get a good push on the line.
I'm not a Dolphins fan. Sorry.
But then, what's it called? So then Shaq Barrett came out and said that the offensive line was basically the same one that they went against in the Super Bowl. They were going to have a coming out party, and they were just going to flat out dominate the Chiefs' offensive line. Quite the contrary. They were mauling, like the inside, like Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, like even Tooney. They were all getting such huge pushes on the line, and you got big guys like Vita Vea on the front line, and they just looked really, really good. The Chiefs' offense rushed 37 times for 187 yards, and they just flat out dominated, which was very nice to see. So, and then of course, Barry came out or whatever and was like, oh, well, I wasn't trying to throw shade or anything, but it was really funny seeing the tweets of like Orlando Brown and Trey Smith all tweeting at each other, like these different memes about what was going on. That was nice to see.
I was at the game, bro.
Good too, man. Pacheco looks good.
I was at the game, and the Bucs could not make a tackle to save their life. So,
all right, Cody, your big win for the week.
Well, not necessarily win because they lost, but my biggest surprise of the week is the New England Patriots. As a Packer fan, being that they were going to be on their second string quarterback, and he went down early, and then went on their third string quarterback. I really thought this game was going to be a cakewalk. Nothing I would have to get nervous about, but there were some times during the end of that game I found myself biting my nails and sweating a little bit, but I ended up winning, so a win's a win and all is well. But the topic we touched on before, New England might want to consider a QB competition there. We're probably blowing it out of proportion. They're not going to. It's going to be Mac Jones's team once he comes back, but I think New England found themselves a very good second string quarterback at least.
Solid backup until Mac Jones pulls a Brady and tells him to get rid of him, and he goes to the Niners.
I have a thing for Rob.
Okay.
Because Rob thinks I was a Dolphins fan. Rob, my first hint for my personal favorite team is the Pittsburgh Steelers never won a Super Bowl when this team was in the playoffs.
They won 2004 or 2006?
Nope. Brady was hurt.
Or 2007, whatever.
Oh, in the playoffs.
Yeah. Patriots missed the only 2 years the Steelers won. The Patriots what was it? They won 06, right? No, they won 07. They won
7 or 8.
No, they lost the Giants in 07, the Patriots, I thought.
I think it was 6. It was the year before.
Something like that.
History. Who needs it? All right. My surprise / winners, man, is going to be the Falcons organization. These guys are doing right by their team. Cordell Patterson looks good. Mariota looks good. Drake London looks good. I mean, Pitts looks terrible, but that's fine. They're winning games. They're 2-2. They're one field goal away from a 3-1 season, and they're competing with everybody they're playing against. The Falcons right now, I hate Arthur Smith. He was the coach of the Titans. I need to quit shaking my fucking table. I hated Arthur Smith when he was there. I didn't think he was that good, but he is doing right. The organization is doing right. That's going to go into my bust for the week. And my bust for the week is an organization that isn't doing it right, and it's the Bears. And it's not because Justin Fields has less completions than Cooper Kupp has receptions. It's because their top scorer of the week has been let go. Your kicker's been playing well. He's doing okay. I know they have someone else coming in, but they still let him go. He was their top scorer of the week, and you're cutting it. That's some bullshit. Bears suck. Rob, you want to pull up Rob's comment? I don't know if we did it yet. Rob said, losers, the Dolphins organization. I would say Cody and Izzy probably agree playing Tua. Me and Greg over here might disagree a little bit just because, I think Tua could have played. So, but my bust for the week. Moving on. Cody, who are you busted on?
My bust of the week is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. This is the second time this season they've blown a 17-point lead. This team should very easily be 4-0. I get it. Injuries happen. But, I mean, to let up a 70-point lead twice already in the season, whether you want to blame it on the offense stalling out in the second half or the defense playing good for the first half and then falling apart in the second half, or just some bonehead play calling on fourth down when he should just kick the field goal and took the lead. Whatever you want to blame it on, blame it on whoever. But the Ravens are my bust this week.
The Ravens were 103 going into this season when they were winning by 17 points. This season, they're 1-2. So that's fun.
Another cool stat I saw on Twitter was the Ravens have only been losing and trailing in games for a total of 14 seconds this season.
I saw that too.
And they're 2-2.
Rob, as a Steeler fan, you probably love the idea of that.
This team should easily be 4-0.
All right, Greg, give me your bust.
But yeah, 2 a time.
On the bench.
All right, my bust. Wow. The Detroit Lions defense. They came out and gave up 48 points to Geno Smith and the Seahawks. Their defense has given up 38 points, 27 points, 28 points, and 48 points. It's not good, especially when you spend like your first round pick, which was like 2 or 3 overall on Aiden Hutchinson. He's actually doing pretty good this year, like generating pressure. They look awful defensively. I thought it was going to be Goff having difficulties and the Lions offense not really doing that well, but it's pathetic watching them on the defensive side of the football. They really need to step it up. They need to do something. Dan Campbell being a defensive-minded guy, I don't know what the hell is going on, but it can't continue to happen because the Lions should at least be 2-2 at this point.
Are you guys surprised about how many points the Lions have scored? I know Cody said this offense was going to be pretty good earlier in the year with all the players that they had, but they're the number one scoring offense in the league. I didn't see that coming. I mean, DeAndre Swift's an animal. I like him. Amon St. Brown is good, but I didn't think they'd be scoring however many points they're scoring a game.
Hey, Chris, remember when you said Baker Mayfield was a better quarterback than Jared Goff?
Yeah. That's
I like
proven.
Speaking of Baker Mayfield, Chris, who's your buzz for that?
I had to bring that up.
Baker Mayfield is my bust for eternity. He fucking wasted too much time doing commercials and focusing on football in his career. But no, Baker Mayfield's my bust. He what's that?
I can't read it.
Yeah. It was my Snapple fact. I was hoping you guys would be able to see it, or I can enlighten our viewers.
No, Baker Mayfield.
No one cares what you have to say, so
cut him.
Yeah, he hasn't looked good at all. I mean,
no, like their offense looks like fucking atrocious. Like atrocious. Like my boy Bailey Zappi got with the ball moving. So he looks horrible. Like they need to just let him go. Like Sam Darnold's on his way back. Give it back to Sam. Keep rotating the shit overrated, high drafted quarterbacks and let him keep going out there and trying to get through
At
the
least
year.
Sam Darnold like helped with fantasy value for like DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey and Robbie Anderson. Like Baker's just killing their value as well as.
Oh, well, DJ Moore, they were asking him, and like, I watched a press conference, and he pretty much was like, I can't control like how I get the ball or what's happening. Like, he pretty much saying like, this motherfucker sucks so bad that like he's making me look like trash. So, but DJ Moore would be like a good trade option for midseason trade. Team looking for a play.
I have a few guys. I love Brian Burns on the defensive side, defensive end. I would love to see the Chiefs try to go after him. He's on the last year of his rookie deal, I think. But Panthers, they're going to be selling everyone, you would think.
I also like to think that they would you could trade away some of these players and just do a complete rebuild in Carolina rather than sit mediocre. So.
Well, I think part of the problem with that offense, I know the first 2 weeks, I haven't paid attention much the last 2 weeks, but the first 2 weeks, McCaffrey wasn't touching the ball. He's their best player, and they were only designing barely double-digit touches for him in the first and second half. And then they'd get behind and they want to give him the ball. He's your best player. Mayfield's not going to win you a Super Bowl. McCaffrey is good enough to get you to the playoffs, and you're not riding him. They're too afraid of him getting hurt, and they're keeping him safe, and he's not getting the fucking ball. And that's part of the problem with the offense. If McCaffrey's not running the ball, DJ Moore's not going to get open. Robbie Anderson's not going to be able to streak downfield.
Even those quick check downs, the McCaffrey, like those were so successful last year, and the defense had they had to respect it, which opened up more on the deep end for the other guys. But I don't know what's going on there, but it's not good.
Well, Mayfield's not afraid to throw the ball short. I mean, he was throwing it to Kareem Hunt last year, but McCaffrey's not going out. He was in fucking pass protection. Why the hell is he there? I don't know. Mayfield's been a bust, but I'm just as mad at Matt Rule. That offense has been fucking terrible.
Like I say, I think it might be time to get that Matt Rule guy out of there.
What was his record?
Like 1-94.
Yeah, it's like 1-26 or 1-20. It's like really bad. I think it's like stupid.
You want to hear an interesting fact? Tom Brady has 23,996 passing yards, 174 touchdowns, and 40 picks. 2,300 whatever passing yards, 174 touchdowns. That's 500 more, and that's in his 40s. Only in his 40s. That's 500 more in yards and 20 more touchdowns than the all-time Bears leading quarterback in any statistical category, Jay Cutler.
Ah, my man.
Oh, Cutler. I was a Cutler fan back in the day.
That's how bad the Bears organization is.
All right, guys, let's head into third down for everybody at home. This is our fantasy section. So if you have any fantasy questions, post them in there. The guys that were giving us all the fantasy questions last time, I don't think they're on today. So this section is going to move pretty quick. We're going to start off with daily fantasy for Thursday night's game, though. Cody, I know you got a lineup in. It did pretty well last week. I don't know if it won me any money, but it was pretty far up. So what you got this week?
All right. So this week, we're going to the MVP slot. Well, that's what FanDuel calls that, at least. We're going to go Courtland Sutton, only because when I look at the two teams, I just imagine he's going to be the most productive guy out of the whole team. Jonathan Taylor's not going to be playing this game. And then two guys I'm taking. I'm going to take Gordon and Mike Boone. I'm going to double up on the Denver backfield. Don't know who or what's going to happen in that scenario. So I'm going to take them both kind of just as an insurance policy. And then I'm going to take Mike Pittman. I think Colts are going to have to throw the ball. And he's the leading receiver. He's that target. He's, Matt Ryan likes going to him. Last guy I'm taking, Nyheim Hines. Like I just touched on, Taylor's not going to be there. I think Colts are going to have to throw the ball. He's the pass catching back. So I can see some production out of him this week as well.
I like
that wraps that up.
Anyone else got a lineup that they wanted to share for this week? I went through and I looked at it, and I didn't really feel comfortable with anything that I put together. Cody's was pretty solid. I definitely think I'm fading tight ends on both teams. Mo Ali Cox had a huge game against the Titans this week, but I don't think Denver is going to let that happen. So I'm fading tight ends on both teams. I wouldn't put any of them in there. That's all I really got. You guys got anything to add for that? If not, we'll move into prize picks.
No, the tight ends on both teams. The Colts, it's like each week it's one guy having a good game, and Denver's tight ends just stink.
Albert O, man, I really thought he had like the talent to be somebody, and he's just not looking like that guy. All right, guys, let's move into prize picks. Cody, I know you had a few. Greg, do you have a few? And Izzy, you won some money last week. So, Chris, do you want to go first and let us know your prize picks if you got them? If not, we can move to somebody else.
I have a couple. Damian Harris this week against the Lions rushing defense. They have him at 60 yards. The Lions rushing defense is probably the worst in football. So, and New England's been pounding the ball really well. So I like that one. A risky one, but I would maybe take is Melvin Gordon at 56.5. I'm leaning more towards the under than the over, but he's going to be the primary back now. There's not a lot of they don't really have a lot of their full odds up yet in the week. But I also like, where was it? One last one. No, see, they don't have a lot of the games up yet, but I like that. If you want anything early, I would do Damian Harris on rushing yards. And then they have Jacoby Brissett at only 210 passing yards. I think he'll get that.
Okay. Greg, what prize picks you got so you guys can get a good ticket together?
Yeah, so I like a couple teams this week, tease down. So basically, Bucks are playing at home against the Falcons. They're getting around like 8 points, or given 8 points or whatever it's called. The Chiefs are favored by, I think, 7 right now at home against the Raiders, and the Packers in London are favored by, I believe, 8 points against the Giants. Starting with the Packers games, the Giants haven't really looked, amazing. They beat up on some pretty bad teams. This is by far, I think, the best quarterback they're going to have faced. So I like teasing like 2 or 3 of those teams down to pretty much money line, and taking 2 or 3 of those together. And I also really like the Broncos on Thursday night. A lot of people are Russ sucks, but playing at Mile High, prime time defense, like I don't know, they thrive off that. Colts are without Jonathan Taylor, which is very significant because he is pretty much the focal point of their offense. I like for Denver to get pressure on Matt Ryan, at least get a couple sacks in that game. Potentially force a couple turnovers, and the Broncos to win that game.
Cool. Cody, you said you had 3. What you got?
Yeah, there's 3 I found on Underdog Fantasy, where if you use promo code GETRIGHT, they'll match your deposit up to $100. But anyway, first one I like, they have Devin Singletary at 53.5 rushing yards, and I like the over on that one. They are playing Pittsburgh's rush defense, which I think is like 24th in the league right now. And they've been leaning on Devin Singletary a little more lately. I think last week he had over 60% of the snaps. And I imagine, they're going to, not necessarily a running team, but I think he could very easily get that. Another one I like, Breece Hall, they have at 64.5 rushing and receiving yards. Again, another guy who seems to be becoming the guy in New York. Again, another guy who had over 60% of snaps last week. Miami's kind of middle tier there in the rushing, as far as rushing defense goes. I think they are around like 11 or 12th, but they're still letting up like 108 yards a game on the ground. So that's one I like. And this one hurts me to say because this player was one of my, comeback guys who I thought was going to have a fantastic year. They have Allen Robinson at 39.5 receiving yards, and I'm going to hit the under on that one. So a stat I actually saw on Allen Robinson, out of 145 or 146 eligible players, he ranks 144th or 145th, so second last out of all those players in yards per separation at 1.9 yards. So we might want to say Matt Stafford's a racist and he's only targeting his white receivers. But I think that's just because Allen Robinson just can't get open.
Hell of a callback there, Cody. Hell of a callback. So some that I like, Matt Ryan at 233.5. I'm taking that over. They're going to be throwing the ball, even if it's to Naheem Hines. Russell Wilson, over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He had 2 passing touchdowns last week. He had a rushing touchdown. Indy's defense really isn't that good. Ryan Tannehill,
4 total all year.
And 2 were last week. So he's heating up, and he's got 17 passes.
I like it, Pat. I like the pick. I like it.
Yes,
Cooking, starting to cook, starting to heat up. More ingredients coming in.
I know that you're a huge hater this year, Izzy, for some reason.
Chef Boyardee cooks better than fucking Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson is going to get better. So those are the 2 quarterbacks that I really like. They haven't listed anything How about them
Clarence
Titans?
Law. How about them Titans?
What's up, Buki? Thanks for tuning in, man. I don't have any prize picks for the Titans this week, but they're 2-2. They're making a comeback. We're rallying. So they might be getting hot. I don't know. Derrick Henry, I said this last week. He looks like the old king. This week again, man, he looked like the king. Get ready. I think, Izzy, we're talking about it previous. You asked me if I thought he'd have over 1,300 yards, and I said yes. And the first 2 weeks did not look good. These last 2 weeks, I think he's getting 1,300. So I don't have a prize pick on the Titans listed on my phone, so not going to be able to pick one. But whatever they're listing Henry at, I'd probably go with the over because he's looking good. All right.
Right.
I like that rush. I like that rush one only because I think Denver is going to have to throw the ball more than running, even if they're up. As bad as the Colts have been, they do currently have the fourth best run defense, I believe. I saw fourth or fifth, something like that. And missing your top running back, Melvin Gordon's still decent at this point. But no, I like Russ to score two scores.
Yeah, I got two
touchdown passes, 2 touchdowns.
And then Matt Ryan's actually the number 4th in the league in passing right now. So at 233 yards is not that much. I like him. So we'll go with that. We're going to move into 4th down. This is where we do our survivor picks. Anybody at home that's watching, throw in who you think is going to win this week, and maybe we could talk about it. So we're going to do our survivor picks. Cody, do you want to remind everybody who we've picked so far in our records?
Yes. So records, we have Chris. He's the only undefeated one still at 4-0. Greg and I right behind at 3-1, and Pat, you're a little down there.
Damn tie.
You'll say 2-2, but we have 1-2-1.
It is 2-2. Ties count as wins.
No, bro.
All right, it's fine. Izzy, who you taking this week?
49ers.
Taking the Niners.
Because the Niners look beautiful. Jimmy G re-inspired them. That defense is looking sexy again. And they kicked Trey Lance's bum ass to the bench. Let's go, Niners.
Baker revenge game. Here we go. He's going to get angry and put up some big numbers against the Niners.
All right, Greg, who you got this week as a survivor?
Yeah, I got the Denver Broncos. The line's right now sitting like 3.5, but I really like Denver to come out on, the big stage, Mile High Stadium. Crowd's going to be into it. Matt Ryan has just looked so distraught in the pockets. The offensive line has not been playing well. Denver's going to generate plenty of pressure. I really like Denver money line and them to win this game.
So I have decided that since I can't catch a fucking break this year, that I'm no longer going to use strategy. I picked the Lions last week. They scored 45 points. They should have won that game. They fucking lost. So you know what? I'm no longer picking strategy. I'm going with my heart. You know what my heart says? My heart says that there's one player that I've been hyping up all year, and that is Sauce Gardner. Give me Sauce. Give me Jets, Jets over Miami. Suck it, Bridgewater. Sauce takes the pick 6. That's the game. Give me the Jets. Cody, you're last.
Is that your jersey for the year?
Yeah, I bought this one. This is my birthday. My mom bought it. She's like, what jersey you want for your show? And I was like, get me Sauce. So I had to pick him this week.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to get as into it as you just did, Pat. But mine, I'm going to go Vikings. They're playing the Bears at home, and the Bears stink. So I feel I'm probably going to jinx myself by saying this, but I think this is a pretty easy pick here.
All right.
And then we have Clarence saying Ravens can beat the Bengals. Oh, of course they can. That AFC North isn't as good as we thought.
Yeah, the Bengals.
I think that division's.
My concern about them Ravens is they like to blow leads, and the Bengals can score points quickly when they get clicking. Well, I can't talk. So I like the Ravens over the Bengals. That's who I would pick. But if they're up 17 points and then Jamar Chase has a 300-yard game after that, who knows? Anyone else listening at home that has some hot topics that you want us to talk about, put them in the comments. We're going to get there. We're going to do some rapid fire pick'ems for everybody. That guys, I'm just going to go around in your little circle here and have you guys pick the games. Everyone's going to get their own team, so you can give like a good couple minutes spiel here. Let me get the games up real quick. So we have.
Come on, you should have been ready.
Me and Greg already talked about. So we're going to the Thursday night game. So Cody, we're going to start with you. Colts at Broncos.
Bring it on. Colts at Broncos. Give me Denver at home. Colts without their running back. And I think, like you said, Pat, I think Russ is getting it figured out. Looked good last week. I think he's going to keep going. I'll take Broncos.
I should have started with somebody else because you're next again. Giants and Packers on the early game in London.
I'll take Green Bay again. Again, hope I'm not jinxing myself here, but we don't know who Giants are going to have at quarterback, if Daniel Jones can be back or not. The thing that scares me is Green Bay hasn't been that good against the run, and we talked about previously how good Saquon has been. But I think Green Bay could hold off enough where they can pull out a win.
Oh, we got a comment down here. Want to pull that up? John says, I think the Eagles' first loss with first and second string left tackles out and Avonte Maddox out. Little John, don't you have a test coming up? That's my brother. You have a test. Go start it. I'll be watching you talk on football. But I love you. And the Eagles could potentially lose this week. So we're going to get there. Chris, you got Steelers at Bills.
I got Buffalo. Buffalo, they're pretty banged up, but they're playing really well still. Josh Allen's balling out, is on like a different level this year. And I think Pickett's, coming into his own. I just don't think that Pittsburgh's offense is going to be able to meet the firepower of Buffalo. Now, if Trubisky was in the game, I think it might be closer, but Pickett will probably throw a couple picks, turn the game over. Buffalo will capitalize and win, just like they blew a 10-point lead last week.
All right, Greg, Chargers at Browns.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Herbert's been rolling. They looked really impressive last week. Yeah, I don't got much behind that. Chargers win.
Cody, another NFC North game. Bears at Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going to go Vikings. They were my survivor pick, and the Bears just stink. So I'll take Vikings pretty easily in that one.
All right, Izzy. Lions at Pats.
Lions. Man.
That was a pretty quick answer.
No, I changed it. I'm not sure.
Zappy, you don't think Zappy can score 48 points?
Here's my thing is that, Patriots win at home. Belichick will confuse Jared Goff. He has Goff's number. The Lions defense is horrible. Belichick will try to just run it down their throat, control the clock, and then Goff won't have as many opportunities to strike. Give New England the win.
New England the win. All right.
Zappy time. I think Mac Jones might play.
Cody. Oh, the first one from Rob, and we'll do the next one.
Yeah,
first one from Rob. There we go.
Rob says, good luck against Pickett's to Pickens. Rob's high on Pickett. He's been high on Pickett.
Oh, I think Pickens is a dog. I think if Pickens had a real quarterback, he would actually be like Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, but he's stuck in Pittsburgh.
Isn't it fun to think if Pickens was there with prime Ben Roethlisberger, what it would look like?
Yeah, him and AB would be just amazing.
And then go ahead. Steelers offensive line is
AB literally get a first down off his dick, bro. You can whip that shit out.
All right.
Hey, man, we're a family show.
And it's going to be AB's penis, but we got to finish these pick'ems. Greg, it's up to you. Seahawks at Saints.
Like this.
They're saying that Jameis Winston and Michael Thomas both have not been practicing, but I have faith in Andy Dalton. Saints win it at home.
You after the Seahawks scored 48 points, huh?
They got lucky. The Lions. I just talked about how bad the Lions defense is and how atrocious they've been looking. So I like the Saints to do a little bit more of a job controlling Geno Smith and that offense, and the Red Rocket gets the W.
Red Rocket. Cody, Dolphins and Jets.
Oh man. I'll roll with you on this one, Pat. I'll take Jets on the upset.
Take the Gardner.
Even though I think Miami looks good, man. Even with Bridgewater, I mean, he threw the 2 picks, but they weren't really his fault. Gesicki, kind of mishandled that one. Yeah, I don't know. No, I'm switching. Give me Miami. I'll take Miami.
We got some fantasy questions here. We can bring these up real quick from Zachary.
Oh, hold on. I'm well behind. Hold on.
Should I drop Isaiah McKenzie? He's on the bench for Jamison Williams. It's a 12-man PPR, he says in the next comment.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. Isaiah McKenzie's looked pretty good in that Bills offense. He's the clear slot receiver. Jamison Crowder, I think, is the other guy, but he broke his foot or something. He is in concussion protocol right now, but he's been very, very consistent on that Bills offense. Nobody knows how much of a workload Jamison Williams is going to get when he comes back. I definitely would not make that move, or maybe try to trade away McKenzie to get something in return or some sort of upgrade, then pick up Williams.
What do you guys think? I dropped Isaiah McKenzie a couple weeks ago for another player, for Curtis Samuel. So I'm not against you getting rid of McKenzie to take Williams if he's on riding your bench and he's not playing at all and Williams has a higher upside. I'm not against it, but so right now we're split. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's close to me. I think McKenzie has a clear shot at targets and catches because I don't know how they're going to work Williams into the offense quite yet. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown's just on a whole nother level right now. And, you know, Swift's going to get his targets when he's back. Hawkins is going to get his targets. So I'm not really sure where Williams is going to fit into the offense quite yet. So I think right now I'd hold on to McKenzie.
Okay, that's 2. Hezzy, do you differ from that, or you think you're good?
I'm good. Y'all talked about it enough.
Go ahead and bring up Rob's. He wants to know if AB's over and under 12.5 inches this week. We're going to get there at the end, Rob. You hang on. We're going to talk about that dick here in a minute.
That thing was like snake.
I want to get through these pickups real fast. Is he Falcons or Buccaneers?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, sir?
Falcons or Buccaneers?
Let me think. Tom Brady's never lost to the Falcons in his life, but he's going through a divorce. Bucks win. They bounce back.
I got Titans at Commanders. You guys know I never picked the Titans to win, but I'm taking them this week. Carson Wentz can't stay up, and I'm going to go with the Titans to advance to 3-2. Greg, Texans at Jags.
Texans at Jags. Jacksonville's looked pretty impressive so far. Last week they played the Eagles, who are a pretty decent team. Texans are just like, not really that good. Jags at home, I think they take it pretty easily. My guess, I think they're going to win by, even though it's a divisional game, I still got the Jags to win by like 10 points, I think.
Okay. Cody, Niners, Panthers.
Give me Niners. I mean, they looked good against the Rams. Yes, 2 days ago, not yesterday. I think that team's, like as he said, I think they look a little rejuvenated with Jimmy G back there at quarterback. I mean, didn't look good that first game he was there, but I think I like the Niners rolling forward. I think they have a really good team on roster, or a good roster on paper. That defense has been playing very well. I imagine the offense is going to play good enough to get them in games and win them games. So I'll take the Niners.
All right. Want to pull up Ross's comment there. Who's the guy with the shirt? It's not Pat, is it? Those are kind of big pasties, too much coverage. Man, I was shirtless Pat until I made my survivor pick of the Jets this week. You just tuned in a little too late, Rasta, but maybe I'll take it off at the end here just for fun. Izzy, we got boys at Rams.
So LA has been looked really disappointing this year on offense because Cooper Kupp just can't carry the whole team by himself. I don't know. I say Dallas pulls off. The back record's better, but I think this might be an upset type game.
I think Micah Parsons gets after Stafford. Greg, Eagles at Cardinals.
Eagles are at the Cardinals?
Eagles are at Cardinals.
Okay. You know what? I like the Cardinals to win this week. Eagles have been playing well, but they got to go on the road. Kyler Murray, I think he's going to have a pretty good game. He's going to be scrambling around. He's going to rush for a touchdown, throw a couple. I think Eagles are due for a loss. Their schedule has been very easy, and I think it's just going to be one of those weird games where the Cardinals get the win.
All right. You want to put up Clarence's comment there, Cody?
Rams.
Clarence has the Rams.
He's going
which I'm
Rams
sure a lot of
people
people do this week.
I mean, the Rams are the favorite.
Might be the game of the week. Cody, Bengals at Ravens, game we talked about a little bit earlier.
Man, I will take the. Could I phone a friend on this one? No. Bengals at Ravens. I think if Baltimore could play a good solid 4 quarters, I'll take Baltimore.
Okay. Last game.
It's not a confident pick either, but I'll take Baltimore.
Sorry.
I'll put all my money on Joe Burrow.
Big Dick Joe. All right, last game of the week. Raiders.
You probably should. The way my season's been going, you should probably.
Man, I hope he gets it. He's my fantasy quarterback.
No, the only person you got to bet against if you're doing our Survivor picks is Pat. You'll make money this year.
Dude, I've had the worst fucking luck. It's terrible. That's why I'm going with the Jets this week. Go with my heart. All right, Greg. Raiders, Chiefs, and the score for the Monday night game.
Yeah, Chiefs are at home right now. I think they're favored at like 7.5 points. Last time the Raiders came into Arrowhead, they danced on the Chiefs logo and they got absolutely ran out of the building. That game was ugly. It's going to be loud at Arrowhead Monday night. I expect the Chiefs to get a decent amount of pressure on Carr. He's going to make a few unforced errors. I'm curious to see who lines up on Devontae Adams because, Snead has looked really, really good in coverage and against, or just not against the blitz. What word am I looking for? In pressure, when he's pressured the quarterback, he's looked really well. But also, like I said, he's looked really well in coverage. Chiefs are going to win this game. It's probably going to be by 10 to 14 points. Potentially Raiders get a backdoor cover, but Chiefs win easily.
All right, we got the Chiefs. So that is everything. If anybody has any other topics they want to talk about, Ratza says, Bengals, Big Dig Joe going to light them up. Chase going to have a get-right game. I actually have a glass that says Big Dig Joe.
Hey,
so
like I said, Anthony, it's not a confident pick, but it is a pick.
All right. So before we get into the AB penis talk, is there any other topics that fans want us to talk about? People from home that want to. We got a couple more minutes here. We try to keep this under an hour for everybody. So you go ahead and put in the comments. But here's my take on the AB thing. Ready? All right. He would be in a porno, but he wouldn't be the most impressive guy. I looked at that picture probably a lot longer than I should have, and I really zoomed in and focused on it. Half of what you're seeing is this man's hand. He's a wide receiver in the NFL, which means he's got a massive hand. So most of it's his hand. He's pulling and tugging. And we're talking I'm guaranteeing you it's 7 to 7.5 inches. Decent girth, I'll give you that. But it's not an overly impressive wiener. All right. I could probably think of a handful of penises I've seen in my day that are probably bigger. Do I think he could be in porn? Sure. But he would not be the most impressive guy in that porn. Your guys' takes. Unless you don't want to talk about
plead. I'm gonna plead the fifth on this conversation. I'll let you guys take this one over.
Jags or Miami defense?
Yeah, you can pull up the next one from Zachary here. Jags or Miami's D.
Yeah, moving on here. I'll take Jags.
I like the Jags D too.
I like Miami.
The Jags have scored a ton.
I like Miami.
I like Jags just because the matchup
on this one.
You're going Miami's D. My Miami's defense looks okay, but the Jaguars scored 80 points this year. It's ridiculous. I might have missed it, but do you believe Kenny Pickett can turn things around? Brutal schedule. Looking forward for the Steelers. Starting a rookie quarterback against the Bills isn't a great idea, but I think Kenny Pickett can have a half decent season. I think there's enough talent on that offense to win games. But it's going to come down to Canada, I think, ultimately.
It's going to be a lot of growing pains.
Yeah, I mean,
so they decided to put Kenny Pickett
I think the
in.
stretch really.
Oh, good. You can go.
Good.
So they put Kenny Pickett in. His first official 3 starts after blowing a 10-point lead to the Jets is the Bills, the Bucks, the Dolphins, the Eagles.
Ooh.
Then the Saints is possible, I would say. It's their best favorable. Then they go Bengals, and then it gets easy, Colts, Falcons. And then they play the Ravens, Panthers, Raiders, Ravens, Browns. So that's a Watson's Browns team. So their schedule gets a little harder. The next 4, he's going to really have a tough little run here against Buffalo, Tampa, Miami, and Philly.
We're going to see what he's made of. I mean, he's going out there. He's got nothing to lose. I mean,
his job to Trubisky.
I mean, there's no way they're going to put him back on the bench. All the fans want to see him, and, that sells tickets. So they don't want to see Trubisky waltz out there, throw 10 of 27 for, 125 yards and maybe 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions.
Trubisky didn't blow a 10-point lead.
We want to see Pickett. Pickett time.
Pickett time? Yeah, what Pickett sounds like? Like the other team picked it.
And he did throw 3 interceptions, but 2 of them I would say weren't really, his fault.
Yeah, Claypool's who's 6'4" is going up one-on-one against
the ball was not. Whoa! The Claypool interception was all totally his fault because he threw the ball on the back left shoulder of the receiver running the opposite way. That's a fucking quarterback mistake. It is a jump ball, but the quarterback. You lead the receiver. No, you lead the receiver.
Dick.
Cody, come on. You got to admit, when you lead the receiver, you don't throw it back over the middle of the field. If it's hitting his left shoulder and he's running to the right.
I'm not saying it was a good throw, but
then it's not. Then if it's not a good throw, then it's on the quarterback.
When you have Claypool, who was 6'4", going against the quarterback who was 5'9".
So in the NBA, does every 6'6" point guard always shoot the ball over the 6'2" fucking player? No. Like when your momentum's going one way, your body's bent. It was Pickett's fault. Pickett the Pickett
You're just salty. You're gonna have to smash an egg on your head in a couple weeks.
Go ahead and bring up Rob's next comment about Miami here because that's a true one. He beat Miami as a freshman at Pitt. No stage is too big. They're actually saying he's got a lot of cool in him, like Joe Burrow. So they say he's real cool, calm, and collected. That's a good thing to watch for.
He's a rookie. He's gonna have a lot of time to learn. I just don't get why you would not if you didn't think he was ready at the start of the season, I don't know why you wouldn't wait till you got through these 4 games. Let fucking Trubisky take the hit. You have a horrible O-line. And you want my real analysis? Trubisky, let him take the hits for 4 more weeks. The O-line's horrible. You're running into 4 to 5 – the next 4 to 5 weeks, you play really good teams. And rather than going out there and getting fucking lit up as a rookie, you could play him against the second half of the schedule, which is more favorable. Teams aren't as bad, and he'll look better and, give him more practice time snaps. So
that's a fair take on it, but I think right now the city of Pittsburgh and that team is just tired of what Trubisky's doing.
Yeah, it's just Tomlin.
In 2 fantasy leagues, I'm tired of what Najee Harris is doing, to be honest. He needs to play better.
Well, Pittsburgh and New England, their fan bases are saying, we're spoiled. And guess what? We're going to the basement, boy. I'll meet you down there. Got my own sleeping bag. Because guess what? Those dynasties, we're in rebuild mode.
Titans are next.
Yeah, and Tomlin doesn't like to lose. Never had a losing season. I don't think he wants to start that now. I think he's going to bring in the guy who the fans want to see. Probably brings the team more, more opportunities of what he can do. He runs better than Trubisky. He was 10 of 13. His 3 completions were interceptions. I'm not going to get into whose fault they were. Other than those 3 picks, he did look good. 2 scores on the ground. I'd like to see 1 through the air next week. But I really think it's an organization that doesn't like to lose.
What?
He jumped in with no first team reps in practice. He hasn't practiced with the first team much all season, and he still played well. So,
okay, Bailey Zappi was a 3rd-string quarterback, and he took it to overtime in Lambeau. But I would say Bailey Zappi showed. Put it on the record. Bailey Zappi showed more than Pickett because at least Bailey Zappi didn't blow a 10-point lead, and Bailey Zappi answered the call in Lambeau. You know who didn't answer the call? Kenny, the turnover machine.
No, he's just mad because he knows he's going to have to get an egg on the face at the end of the season.
No, because it's just he's a young kid and you should give him a chance to play. But y'all are making him sound like he's going to be a Cumming or something, bro.
The one play that stood out for me with Kenny Pickett was when he was standing in the pocket. He saw Quinnen Williams barreling down on him, and he stood there, made the throw, and took the massive hit from Quinnen Williams, and he delivered a strike, which almost was a touchdown. It was only a yard short, which then I think he rushed it in. But that showed really good composure in the pocket. He knew he was going to take that hit. That showed his physical, mental toughness. That's something you want to see in one of your rookie quarterbacks, which could be a foreshadowing of good things.
Does Mahomes do that?
Yeah, he's done that before.
Look, I was
that's a short career move right there, and just standing there and letting yourself get lit up.
I was with you before this season on the Trubisky train. I believed in him, but just seeing these 4 games, Trubisky, he just doesn't look good. I think Pickett just gives him the better shot.
I think Ben Roethlisberger said it best. He never got a fair shot in Pittsburgh.
Roethlisberger didn't?
Yeah, because he never got a fair shot in Pittsburgh because
put up the comments, Cody.
Yeah, bro. Enjoy that losing record this year. Enjoy your top 5 overall pick.
Hey, there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft. Who knows?
All right, guys. That was a good conversation. Let's try to keep this under an hour for everybody. So everyone that tuned in, thank you. I do have one last thing for Zachary. I just looked it up for you. The Jaguars ranked 5th on defense and fantasy points, and Miami's 25th in fantasy points. So I think right there it's pretty clear. I would go with the Jags in there in a weaker division. You're going to have better matchups with
You know what, Greg? I got something for you before I leave.
All right,
I'll up the ante.
Oh, my God.
I will drop a whole carton of eggs all over myself if Kenny Pickett throws less than 10 interceptions the rest of the season.
So he can finish with 13.
But yeah, so you have to say that he'll throw less than 10 because he's so amazing. Why should he not throw a shit ton of picks? If he's Kenny the Pickett turnover machine, you should
10 going forward, like 10 from 13.
No, it counts. No, like it counts. He's already a turnover machine.
No, why would I take that? Like he only needs 7 in the next hour.
But you're so confident. He's amazing.
No, don't take it, Greg. Don't fall for it.
I'm not saying he's amazing. Like he
never accepted the first bet. First off, he never accepted the first bet. There's no
good thing we record these because
good thing we have witnesses.
He actually never accepted. He always did like this. Whenever we talked about it, he goes like this. So it's on camera. Record it. Go look at it.
I'm not the one smashing an egg on my head.
Guess what? You know what I know is that when he turns the ball over this weekend, you're gonna all be like, he's learning.
He's got to at least have one interception.
I'm with you, man. I don't think he's gonna be the next new coming of age guy.
I'm just saying I think
he gives Pittsburgh a better shot at winning the rest of the
anyone
season.
that care about this kid would not say, let's play him against Buffalo, and fucking Tampa Bay back and against the Eagles, like back to back.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, you know what killed Andrew Luck? Not an offensive line.
Cody, bring up that last comment. Andrew looked pretty good. That last comment, I just want to make sure.
There we go.
There it is. All right, guys. Everyone at home, thank you for tuning in. We're going to be here either next Tuesday or Wednesday. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Get us on Twitter and Instagram. I hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to come out with some more live, exciting content. Tune in this weekend. We're going to get a check-in, about a 15, 20-minute episode on what's going around the league before this fantasy weekend starts. So thanks, guys. Peace.
Richard Sherman, you talk all your shit on Thursday Night Football about Russell Wilson. You're the fucking commentator. You let them all know. You say it was us. It was the Legion of Boom. You let them know. All right, I'm good.
Cody, sign us out.
All right, cutting you off.